Zwift is punishing me. Well, not just me, but people like me. And what I mean by that is riders that are just lighter in weight. You see, I've been racing in the B category for a while now, and no matter how close I am to the top 10 finishers in terms of watt per kilogram, it seems like I can't directly compete. So I decided to do some digging. I'm fighting physics. Now let me explain. Zwift uses raw power more than watts per kilogram to determine your speed, unless you're going uphill. And it turns out watt per kilogram doesn't matter as much as we think, at least on the flats. Zwift doesn't turn watt per kilogram into speed. It takes your power, runs it through a physics simulation, and then figures out how fast to go. Sounds complicated, right? Let me simplify it. It's not just watts equals speed, it's watts, weight, and drafting, all fighting each other to decide your velocity in this virtual world. What that means? On flats, watt per kilogram barely matters. What does matter is aerodynamics and absolute power. That's why a larger rider will be able to carry more momentum on the flats, which makes their life easier, but your life harder. Now, if that road tends to go up, you're going to benefit. Being a lighter rider, the gravity actually taxes the heavier rider, so makes life easier. The problem is majority of Zwift races are on flat or rolling terrain, so yeah, welcome to Zwift racing, where lighter riders tend to struggle more. Now that we understand the physics behind Zwift and Zwift racing, we have to adjust our race plan and how we approach it. Rather than trying to close gaps and surge whenever a gap opens up, we have to sit back, let other people close those gaps, reserve our power to when the gradient increases and we're at better advantage. So, with that being said, let's hop on the bike, get on to stage 3 of the Tour de Zwift, and see if we can end better. Alright, like every Zwift race, this one starts fast, and honestly at first I didn't even realize how much of the lead into this route was uphill until we were already in it, so from the gun it was just straight into an effort. Now, the plan was pretty simple, do what I've been talking about lately, sit in, ride defensively, don't react to every single surge, really try and just stay focused and stay with the group. Now we got to the point of going downhill and cresting over the top of the climb, I got the anvil power up. I never realized how effective these really are. Going downhill was almost kind of easy. Being a lighter rider means I'm pretty much always on the gas going down hills or anything like that to stay with the group. So being able to really rest and recover felt like a huge advantage. Once we ended up getting down the climb, we started to hit the flatter and windier sections of this route. I made a big mistake here. I was on the wheel of someone who let a gap open up. I really did let myself drift too far. I should never be in this position. But what happened is the guy in front had obviously the good legs to sprint across and close that gap, and I really didn't. At that point, the front group was already going and creating a big split, and instead of burning matches trying to get back on, I made the call to just settle in and wait to get caught by a few guys further back. It probably took just a little over 3 kilometers for the next rider to catch me. Once he did, we sort of sat in together and ended up getting joined by a third rider just before the 4-lap circuit within this route. Now, on the first climb of that circuit, I did end up getting dropped for a few seconds. I think they got a gap of up to a max of 5 seconds. I didn't wait to close this. I decided to go for it on the second round of the climb within that sort of 4-lap circuit and closed it down relatively quickly. Once we finished that 4-lap sort of circuit, there were a lot of small efforts. I call them efforts rather than attacks because they weren't huge and straight to the point. I knew we still had a pretty big climb at the end, so I wanted to let the other person out of the 3 of us to try and close those gaps. Most people usually will, especially at the end of the race if they have the legs. But from there, getting to the base of the climb, I ended up getting gapped a tiny bit, but I wanted to use that to my advantage rather than just catching onto the group. I wanted to accelerate more and pass them with some momentum, making it a little bit harder for them to react, but then also easier for me to get a good gap. So from there, I got a small gap, and it was all about holding on. I wanted to hold the speed and hold the effort and hope I could keep it going all the way to the line. Okay, stage 3 is done. We've got 3 more stages left of the Tour de Zwift. I might change it up next time. I keep seeing my racing score drop with these low place finishes. So regardless, my power is going up, which means training is going well, but it might also mean I think I'm going to drop down into the C category for a few races. See what changes, if anything. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one.